Thank you very much. We are here. This is the Science Week, edition 3, National Science Week 23. And this Science Week, our theme is Uganda to Simba Day. Uganda, we have taken off. We have taken off on our science-led socio-economic transformation. And the activities that have been organized for this particular Science Week showcase and confirm that indeed we have taken off. So this is the 5th day of a 6-week long exhibition, and we have had a lot of activities through. We opened on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we had a lot of, Tuesday we had media press day. We had a press day, we had a discussion on how the press can help us. How can the press help us to brand this Uganda Simba Day? Tuba de motoka, we have been a car, now we tuli nyonyi. How do we get branded to fly? And we had very interesting discussions, and we agreed with everybody that we need to be very intentional with our communication so that we market this country, because it's where we are. It is our country. On Wednesday, we had academia. You know, academia plays in generation of ideas, in creating the workforce that we need, that is going to drive, that's going to pilot, that is going to be the stewards on this plane where Uganda has taken off. And it was a fantastic discussion. And yesterday we had the official opening. We hosted His Excellency, the President of Uganda, and Mama, the First Lady, and Minister of Education, together with a lot of people here. Very many ministers came, and we had some very, very important discussions, but also pronouncements. Some of the important pronouncements is about increasing funding for innovation. You know, many people come, they think the minister is not giving the money, but I have a very small purse. And what we did was to use that small purse as best as we can to build this, so that we can show the country that we're really serious, we're very, very serious, and we're efficient with resources. So we'll be pursuing to make sure that the 500 billion is allocated for science, technology, and innovation, and the country will run really fast. The other thing which was pronounced is a tax exemption. Give local innovators tax exemption for 10 years. I think for me that's a big, big winner. It will make all investors want to come here and grow our companies. Many of these people who are exhibiting here have existed for some time, but for lack of investment, they are growing they are like a malnourished child. But now that we have attracted these investors, then they are going to grow fast. Now today, we have the Investors Summit. We brought in about 74 venture capital companies, firms from all over the world. And these people have, we estimate they have between 5 to 10 billion US dollars. But they have to look at each country and choose which is the best destination for my money. Where do they have good innovations? Where do they have a good environment? Where is government supportive? And where is the market? And we know that Uganda has all these things. Uganda, we are at the heart of East Africa, which runs from one coast to the other. And Uganda is really a champion. We are in good relationships. We have supported most of our neighbors. And so we are in good relationships with them. They benefit from us, we benefit from them. So you combine the market of East Africa. Uganda has a very well-educated population. We have been having, you know, people look at primary, universal primary education, secondary education. The population of educated Ugandans has soared. They just need a few skills and they will be ready to go. So we have an educated population, we have a good amount of electricity now, we have well-paved roads for most of the country, most of the cities you can run on good roads. So we are ready to go. So we invited these investors to come and look at the case of Uganda. And Some arrived last night, some arrived here on Sunday. And they have been discussing, and already they have signed deals. They have signed deals to invest in particular innovations. Some of those innovations have been here for a while, but they can't attract this investment. So they have signed deals because capital is a big limitation for growing innovations into companies and businesses. So we have this investor summit today. Our discussions, one is why aren't you investing in Uganda? And we have had so far, this is the third panel discussion. The first discussion, they told us some of the things, and me as government, I'm going to champion that, to make sure that we respond to some of those things. And we have already started responding to some of the things that they were raising as limiting factors for investing in the country. We have also discussed with the local investors. We have companies in here, they have money, but they are not putting the money in innovations. They are not funding these innovations. Sometimes, like we had the bank there, just $1 million is nothing to an institution like that. Yet, it would help a small innovator take off and build and provide job opportunities, but also grow our economy and take off from what they really envision to see. So we have discussed with them why aren't they investing in the innovations, and they've raised very, very interesting things which we are going to package, engage them further, and hopefully by the 4th edition of Science Week we'll be able to make announcements of the progress that we have made. And right now the panel discussion which is going on is about marketing Uganda. Marketing Uganda as a destination, and it has a lot to do with media. Many times we are looking at the small black dot on a piece of paper. We are not describing the white paper. Uganda has so much. It has so much, and a lot is going on, but we are not branding it. We are not putting it out there to make it attractive, because sometimes someone in the media might think, oh, if I can just harass this politician or this technical person. What you're doing is not that. You're branding the country. So we have innovators. They are telling us, some are telling us, until we got here, we really had a bad image of this country. And now our image is changed. Our mindset is changed. So how do we brand? How do we tell our story? But one of the things happening today is signing of deals. This is commitment to invest. The first deal was signed with an investor in ShareCard. ShareCard is an indigenous innovator, and she has a very good product. Unfortunately, she was not here because she had to travel after the first day. But they have signed the deal with a representative from the company, and that was the very first announcement on Monday. They came and told me, we have decided we are going to invest in this company. And that is going to be a big drive, because she has a fantastic a product which can go all over the world. Even us as science would like to look at it and see how we can deploy it in the monitoring of our projects all over the country. So we are likely going to be clients. So, but without, she doesn't have enough traction, enough resources to deploy further. So with this investment now, she's going to gain a lot of market. So we have signed a number of deals, and the one that we have signed now is government. Basically science, technology and innovation. We've got some money, and we have worked with Uganda Development Bank to act as a fund manager. So we have put aside $1.6 million, and we are investing this in 7 companies. We're investing it in 7 companies. We're going to use this as our learning, and as we get better, we hope we can drive in. My target is to build that fund up to at least 500 million. And that fund is there to fund innovators. People who haven't yet proved that the idea is excellent, but nobody's giving them a chance to put their idea out there. Money is restricting them. They cannot move. So we hope we can grow that fund up to at least, my first target is 500 million, and then we will check whether we can increase it. And we are going to be working with some of the investors to help us to build this, such that government can put in money first, because when we have put in money, then these other investors come. Like we put money in Motors. Now there are many investors who are interested in funding because they know we have confidence that Motors is going to do well. These companies, innovations move through stages. They move from the first is the idea. From the idea you develop a prototype. So we call those in phase 1. So I have an idea, have a concept, but then I need to develop a prototype. That is phase 1. Now prototypes are not final products. And even through here you can see a number of prototypes exhibited. Now from a prototype to the products that is marketed to clients, we call that phase 2. So the first product which usually comes out, the prototype, it shows that this is possible. My idea works. But what comes out is usually not ready to be sold. So you need to convert a prototype into the product that clients want, that clients can buy. Phase 2, we call that phase 2. For example, Pombegard, you have all seen Pombegard. Pombegard is now a prototype. We are investing in it to convert it into a product that clients will buy, that we can market all over the world. Because you can't sell prototypes. You could, but they are very expensive because you produce usually very costly methods, and you don't have machinery. So we are investing in them to put up a manufacturing line. And that is going to unleash the product on the market. So all these companies are in phase 2. Phase 2 converts a prototype into a startup company with something they are selling, which is approved with all. They have the systems, they have some governance structures, so that now there are people to build. So all the companies that we are funding are in phase 2. We have phase 3. In phase 3 is you are converting a startup into a mature company. Then phase 4, you are converting this mature company into a brand that when people talk about it's hangover. You see, like a Colgate. People think every toothpaste is called what? Colgate. But we have a lot of different toothpaste, but they say Colgate. So then you have become a very mature, dominant brand. So that's how innovations move through. And so we are funding this at phase 2, and then hopefully we'll be able to attract other investors to put in a lot more money so that we can take it to phase 3. Quite a number of announcements today. Between today and tomorrow, we are going to see that table will be signing. Some are still in discussions. That lounge is a deal room. It's an investors lounge. We do matchmaking, and they have discussion, negotiations. That lounge you see over there, the investors lounge. Where is our comparative advantage? We have very, very carefully identified 8 areas. We call them 8 industrial value chains. These 8 areas are very closely interrelated. It's difficult to develop one without the other. And so the whole of Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat focuses on those 8 areas. And when you walk through here, the exhibition is actually arranged according to those 8 areas. The first one is infrastructure innovations. That's the one here. And that deals a lot with adding value to our natural resources, especially the minerals. The minerals are key to escorting us. The minerals are very, very key for us doing anything. For example, steel. We have iron ore. But if we don't develop that iron ore into steel, almost every construction that we have to do for a factory, for bridges to certain places, but also for developing the machinery. It banks on steel. So if we do not develop our iron ore, one, we are missing off-take intent, but two, we are importing a lot of that steel, and so we are still sending out the jobs. And a number of things it goes into roads. So when you go in the first section, we are talking about infrastructure innovations, our ability to build manufacturing lines. You will find a number of innovators here who are innovating their first prototype. We have been pushing them and encouraging them. We cannot be forever, every time we talk about a manufacturing line for making some juice, for making peanut butter, we are talking about importing. For now we are importing, but in the future we want to make sure that all these other things we are innovating, we can make a manufacturing line. So that is the first priority area. We need energy, and in energy we are going, for now we are using hydro, but we need to go into nuclear power. So all those are being developed under infrastructure innovations. You cannot develop the rest of the innovations without this one. Then the second one is space. Now many Ugandans have been misled that space is for rich nations, Uganda is too poor. You know, if you don't have things in space, then other people, you are like a house with an open window, but for you, you don't know. So other people are looking into your house, and for you, you don't know. So that is why, for example, somebody will come from an outside country and say, I want to buy land in this particular district. You know? Why? Because they know there are minerals there. Because they have used their space knowledge. And you see people coming to ask for agricultural land, but they are asking in a specific area. But for us as Uganda, we don't know. Because we are depending on people walking and going there, whatever. That's why you see now we are finding a lot of minerals. Yeah, so space is critical. It's actually a primary input for us to be able to develop our, to develop the rest of the innovations. Security, but being able to do surveillance and see how are things moving around the country. Space is the cheapest. So many Ugandans think, oh, space should be for those rich people. No, actually in the nation, starting innovation should start with that, so that you can be in charge of what you have. The third area is what we call the pathogen economy. The pathogen economy, medicines. We spend a lot of money importing medicines, and health is a priority here. So the market is already there, but we have never taken initiative to develop it. So when you move next, you see. But in each of these areas, we don't go for everything. We pick what are key priorities again to take us. So you'll find making of vaccines for humans and animals is a big priority. Making of diagnostic kits. These are some of the things we spend a lot of money on. So the first market is our domestic market, because every year we spend between 500 to 600 million US dollars importing inputs into healthcare. So institute that, even just 20-30%, we will save that money for doing other things in the country. But right now, we borrow and we send it out. The next space that you go into is mobility, motor vehicles. The market is here first. How many motor vehicles are in the country? Now, it was difficult for us to start and compete in the diesel engines, the petrol engines, the vehicles which already import as second-hand. When you tell a Ugandan who has been buying a second-hand car that now shifts directly and buy this. However, the timing is excellent that the world is shifting to electric vehicles. So we strategically went into electric vehicles because that's the future. And we have a strategy for that, which we hope to launch tomorrow by the Prime Minister. We should have launched it yesterday, but we decided not to. We are going to launch it maybe tomorrow. We have developed a strategy. Now, for electric vehicles, we have made a decision. Uganda is going to be a net source, not a net market. we want to contribute, and this is already happening. We are exporting batteries, car batteries already to a number of countries in Africa, even when we don't yet have the full value chain developed. So we are positioning to be manufacturers of those things. We are positioning to provide the services. For example, every time you think about a payment system, you're thinking about a freight system. But we have now Kasaiba, which can manage payment. People will no longer be carrying change to move in a taxi or to move. You'll be carrying just your card. You load your card using your mobile money, and you move. You don't need cash. So we want to make Uganda a source, and this is why we are developing steel, because the motor vehicle industry takes a lot of steel. So the country is going to provide the first offtake to buy, to consume the steel that we produce. And then when you continue, we have the fourth industry revolution technologies. No country can do without it. AI is all over the place. If you either be part of generating AI, or AI will act upon you and you won't understand. So we have a lot of, in that corner, in the corner over the other side, we have a lot of companies that are working. And one of the interesting things there is the world is developing AI. But all these things and all these fourth industrial revolutions, they are moving with telephones, with the gadgets. Now, one of the key inputs, which is limited globally, is silicon. Silicon, which is used to make wafers, which wafers are used to make semiconductors, which go into all these gadgets have those chips with semiconductors. Now, where do they come from? They come from sand. Sand. And Uganda has the best sand, which is almost pure silicon globally. And so some people have been coming here, Chinese, they load it on airplanes, they take it, you think they are taking it to build. So now we are domesticating that. We have started working on building this capacity to convert sand, something called a wafer. And there are many people all over the world who are short of them. They are short. I think you've heard that there has been a crunch, kind of a shortage of those things. And silicon and wafers are one of the things which are short. So just by that one step, we will multiply the value of the sand which leaves the country more than 50 times. And we are building this. We are building the first part. We have started. By next year, we'll show you where we have reached by the next year Science Week. So as we develop the electronics, as you go into AI, more and more Ugandans are going to need gadgets. Yes, we have phones, but every year we change phones. Must we be importing a phone every time we buy a new one? Why can't Uganda also enter there? Because these are facilitators of economic development. So then, the last three priority areas, I've given you 5. The first one is infrastructure innovations, then space, pathogen economy, mobility, and industry 4.0. Those are the electronics, both hardware and software. Just picked a few strategic areas. Now the last 3, import substitution. No country can grow when you are importing so much finished goods. You are importing finished goods. The process of making finished goods is where you create jobs. So we have import substitution, export of value-added products, and how do you accelerate the productivity of Ugandans? So those are 3 priority areas, and this is where we have value addition, technologies, where we are developing value addition technologies to what we produce already, and they have very, very many interesting things there. Then finally, you'll find the supermarkets. Now the supermarket is to show you that our things are ending on the market. We are not just innovating to keep things, to come here year after year and see them. No, we are innovating for the market. The things must go where you buy. And when you go in the supermarket, you'll find products that have come from all. You'll see products that have come from innovators under infrastructure innovations. You see products that have come from, we don't yet have space because it is very, very young, but we have a full pharmacy in the supermarket with products made in Uganda, coming out of innovation in Uganda. And then we have the mobility, most of them in the showroom, the motorcycles, electric motorcycles. By the way, we want to get rid of fueled motorcycles by 2030. That's our strategy. By 2030, all border borders should be riding electric motorbikes. They are cheaper for them, they are safer for the environment, they are safer because the crime, motorbike related crime, which harms more border borders actually themselves than the border borders harm others using that. So the electric motorcycles are really loaded with a lot of technology. Almost in real time, you know where that motorcycle is. So they will protect our riders. That's a big economy, and we support our young people. As of now, until we have created other things for them, we want to make border riding safe. And we want to make it profitable, because an electric bike will give them at least 30% more money. In some, they actually get 70% more money, because they are not turning to a petrol station to fuel all the time. Charging or paying for charge is extremely cheap. So, but when you go into things, the value addition for import substitution, for export, you see our value added coffee. When you compare the price that we receive for green beans of coffee and the price that we are selling a finished product of coffee, you really wonder why we are not focusing on this. So this is to show the whole spectrum of our priorities. And for this particular exhibition, we picked those priorities where we are laying a lot of emphasis. There are so many products. Some innovators, we are still working with them to refine their ideas, to refine their prototypes, to refine their marketing. What is the business? Who is the target? We are working with them. Some of them, we are still working with them to, some of them, somebody woke up and said, I want to make a car. But when you ask them, why do you want to take this car? They don't know. So some of them, we are still working with them. Some very positively. Some will go to the media and say they don't want to help me because they don't want to help. They don't want to be guided. Yeah? For example, somebody will come and say, the president said I should be given 100 million. Now for me, as who knows, and you're working on a vehicle, 100 million will disappear like, and you don't know where it has gone. So some of them, we are helping them to understand the journey of the industry, where they are going. Some of them are very highly educated, some are not educated. And so we have different levels of understanding, but some very people who are not educated have excellent ideas, and we are working with them. So one of the things we have, which we have cultivated, is patience. We are very patient, we are very supportive, we are very nurturing. And for me, Uganda is going to be the giant in innovations in this region in a very short time. In a very, very short time. Which we have found. One, there was the policy about taxation, where local innovators, they really don't have tax incentive to enable them to grow. Yesterday we raised that at the highest, the fountain of honor, and he declared, innovators, 10 years. For me, that's a ticket. That's a ticket to drive innovation. Many of the innovations, we will find them that they actually don't even have policies. So they are trying to be fitted into policies which were not meant for them. We are now picking up those ones and bringing them and cultivating, crafting proper innovations, proper policies that support them. So that is why you see all these agencies here, all these agencies, the support services, we are engaging them. You see UNBS is here, URSB is here, and you've been telling URSB, registration is too complicated for our innovators. Can we make it simple? we are engaging all of them. We have been with banks which don't have funding products for the early stage investors. We are on them. So the policies regarding things like drug approvals, the policies regarding registration of companies, policies regarding standards, all those we are engaging to make them excellent, to meet the world standard. That very, very supportive. And now that we can dialogue, we are going to get ourselves in most rooms where policies are being discussed. Already having a minister, until 2016, there was no minister who understands science in the cabinet, because the only thing we had was the National Science and Technology, the Council, and it was by the Minister of Finance. So that minister has so many big things. But now we have a minister who works 24 hours on science, technology, and innovation. I can tell you we are going to have the best policies in this region. Tackling the policies. We didn't have these policies because people are against innovators. It's because innovation has not been a thing it hasn't been a big thing in this country. Innovators, we are seen as people who are sitting at the side, not really on the mainstream. They are not people on the highway. So when you come, just say, get out. And because innovation was not appreciated. But I'm on a mission, and I think you see it. 2 years, and innovation is now. I want to put it on the first lane. Roads have multiple lanes. There's a lane for slow-moving vehicles. There is a lane for... But I want innovation on the first lane. It's the main thing. It should be the main thing of the nation. Because we cannot continue being consumers of value-added products. We cannot continue doing that. This is a very, very gifted nation. But we are giving away our wealth. So I am on mission. And those of you who are here yesterday, I have a great team now. Elijah here is part of it. We are putting innovation on the first lane, and I really, really want to request the media to join me. Let us put our nation where it should be. Let us put our nation on the first lane. Let us create opportunities for our young people. We have a lot of them. They have gone to school, many of them. And when the ones who have gone to school have jobs, they create jobs for those who haven't gone far in school. So the whole nation is catered for. So innovation is no longer on the side or taking the kameme, taking this. No. Innovation should now come to be on the first lane on this highway of national development.